Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Isango Style. It's exactly 6 p.m. I will be discussing about the youth development in East Africa, youth football development in East Africa, the case study of Uganda. Today, I'll be hosting the communication manager of KCA, who is here in Rwanda for youth football tournaments in Rwanda. We'll be discussing about that, what the steps that Uganda has actually taken to develop youth football, and what Rwanda particularly should learn from Uganda and other countries in East Africa, such as Tanzania, which is developing at high pace in football development. Turaza kuganira uyu munsi mu ndimi ebyiri, ni mu Kinyarwanda mu Cyongereza. Uyu munsi turakira ushinzwe communication mu ikipe ya KCA bari hano mu Rwanda mu byerekeranye n'iterambere ry'umupira w'abakiri batoya. Hari amarushanwa arimo kubera hano i Kigali, ndaza kumwakira mu kanya turaganira muri rw'Icyongereza ariko mbasemurira no mu Kinyarwanda. Tugaruka gatoya no ku Mavubi, aho umutoza w'ikipe y'igihugu Amavubi Jimmy Mulisa yagize icyo atangaza mbere y'uko ikipe yerekeza mu gihugu cya Sudani mu gushaka tike y'igikombe cya CHAN. Reka rero mu kanya tubanze tutumikire abadutumye, hanyuma mukanya umutumirwa wacu aza kuba ageze hano turaza kuba tugaruka. We'll be taking a short commercial break, and we'll be right back after the commercial break to discuss thoroughly about the topic.
Abantu bakubwira ko hari ibyo udashoboye,
nagira ngo mubwire ko
byose birashoboka.
yumvise kakajwe kakubwira gati irekure.
Halo, ya baba inka zarenge pedo.
Hari abakeka ko kuba bari kure business zihagarara.
Isigaye ihebeba, irahebeba.
Urifuza kuruhuka uguwe neza hamwe n'abawe? Ha! Ngo bagutera isoni, ahubwo gahunda zawe ufite uyu munsi ni izihe? Irekure na bando zose za MTN kuri 4G.
Kanda subscribe duhurire online.
Blessing Hands Limited mbarangiye y'amangazini adabagije basirimu ku bikoresho nkenerwa original, habaho dutuye naho dukorera. Ibi biduhesha agaciro kandi ku giciro kitatugoye. Blessing Hands iherereye mu mujyi wa Kigali hafi y'umurenge wa Nyarugenge. Nimuhatambuke rero mutarambagije intebe zo mu ruganiriro, izi wicara mu kavimvira byanarimba ugasinzira. Hanyure wigurire TV stands ziteye amabengeza, garderobe za gisirimu, intebe zo mu biro zirukana amavuna, nizo kuri terrasse, intebe nziza zo mu busitani nizo kuri comptoir, ndetse n'ameza atagira ukwasa yo kuri reception. Ntusubireyo kandi udatanye coffre fort, maze imitungo yawe iha umutekano. Ntusige n'imitako itagira ukwisi, bityo ugenda urimbisha iwawe. Abagusura bazagushimira ubwo busirimu. Abanyamahoteli namwe karibuni muri Blessing Hands, mwigurire za ntebe n'ameza bibafasha kwakira na yomba abashyitsi banyu. Murahakura kandi na za evier nziza cyane, ndetse n'ameza byo mu bikoni hehe n'umugesa aho mukorera. Blessing Hands Limited ni mu mujyi wa Kigali hafi y'umurenge wa Nyarugenge. Telefone yo ni 0788741420 cyangwa 0783536407.
Allons-y.
Ugushyingo kuri Canal+.
Continuons cette partie.
Ugushyingo ni ukwezi benshi bashaka mu butabera.
Nous exigeons la justice.
Ni ukwezi gukumbuza benshi birori.
Et c'est que de la célébration ici.
Ni ukwezi benshi barota intsinzi.
Et c'est à vous que nous devons ce succès.
Mu Ugushyingo benshi barashaka ibyabuze mu yandi mezi.
Nakubwiye yuko nshaka umugabo.
Nimucikwe na saison ya 3 n'iya 4 ya Shuadiru.
Massage.
majasi
kuri Zacu TV kuko kuri Canal Plus buri munsi ari ibirori. Gura decoder ku 5,000 na installation ikorwe ku 5,000. Niba usanganywe abonema kandi gura yisumbuyeho uhabwa inyongera y'ukwezi kose ureba amasheni yose ya Canal Plus.
Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Dukomeje kubakunda no kubazirikana mu rwego rwo kubifuriza umwaka mushya muhire wa 2025 abakunzi ba Flow Organic Beer. Jeri y'umwimerere itarimo isukari n'ibinyabutabire byangiza ubuzima. Twabashiriyeho promosiyo idasanzwe kugira ngo twinjire mu mwaka mushya twishimye, aho twabakoreye igabanyirizwa rya 20% haba ku ikarito cyangwa icupa, mbega ibiciro byose. Akarusho kandi ni kwidatera hangover habe na gato. Flow, uburyohe bw'umwimerere.
Ibyishimo ni byose natsinze. Boss yemeye akazi namukoreye, ni igihe cyo kwihemba. Ndanywa ikinkwiriye umunyabigi nkwanjye anywa Kevant. Barman wabyumvise, zana Kevant. Wazana nini cyangwa wazana into, ndanywa Kevant. Kevant irankorera ijoro. Kevant ihuza inshuti zigahana ijambo zidategana, zikungurana ibitekerezo kandi bikaza ari ibya kigabo. Kevant wayikoresha muri cocktail. Kevant ni inzoga kandi wanywa yonyine. Kevant urayisanga muri supermarket, mu tubari, boutique ndetse n'ahandi hose wicira inyota. Ikitonderwa, inzoga siza bato, kirazira kunywa inzoga utwite, kirazira kandi gutwara ibinyabiziga umwe ibisindisha. Kevant, tumwe mu rugero.
Ari kwa mugabo, ibi ni ibiki? Ni kwa mugabo ugize kutiyobora amazi avi wawe ngo azadusenyere, none uratinyutse ujugunya imyanda muri ruhurura. Ndavuze ngo kuramo ino myanda.
Ariko sibyo birakureba. Aha se ni wawe. Iyi ruhura ko tuyihuriyeho twese.
Kuramo ino myanda.
Iyi ruhura tuyihuriyeho twese. Wigeze umuvugizi w'abantu batuye hano.
Wa mugabo, ibi ni ibiki? Ariko uyobeye ko buri gihe bahora batubuza kujugunya imyanda muri ruhurura. Ntibatubuza kuyobora amazi yo mu rugo ku baturanyi kugira ngo atabasenya. Bakavuga bati amazi muyayobore mu migende na ruhurura zabigenewe. Ibyo byose urabirengaho none utangiye kujugunya imyanda muri ruhurura koko. Turakureka.
Oya rwose, oya maze kubyumva, reka mbivanemo. Ariko uzi ko ariyo mpamvu ntabona abapangaye kubera kutubahiriza ibyo byose.
Wababona utesenye? Abapangaye basobanutse ntago ushobora kubana nawe kuko bagomba kureba ahantu heza hatabateza ibyabo.
Ikindi kandi mumenye ko iyi myanda mujugunya muri ruhurura iragenda ikangiza ibikorwa remezo bikaba byaduteza ibiza.
Jya muyora utoragura imyanda.
Kanjye mumbivane.
Ubu butumwa ni ubwa Minisiteri ishinzwe ibikorwa by'ubutabazi Minema. Ukeneye ibindi bisobanuro hamagara nimero 170.
Mwiriwe papa.
Mwiriwe.
Akira ababyeyi.
Nafashe ubwishingizi umurage ubu Minerval irahari. Nubwo uhora uhangayitse ngo mfite akazi gashobora guhagarara cyangwa kunteza impanuka, tuza rwose. Iyo umubyeyi agize ubumuga cyangwa kwitaba Imana, Prime Life Insurance itanga indezo yishingiwe buri mwaka. Hanyuma umwana yatangira icyiciro cyishingiwe hagatangwa Minerval kugeza umwana arangije. Utanga kandi umusanzu ushoboye igihe ushakiye bitewe na Minerval wifuza.
Papa nanjye ndashaka umurage.
Kanda akanyenyeri 177 urwego uhitamo 4 umurage uzigamira amashuri y'abana. Prime Life Insurance.
Blessing Hands Limited. Mbarangiye aya mangazini adabagije basirimu ku bikoresho nkenerwa original. Haba aho dutuye naho dukorera, ibi biduhesha agaciro kandi ku giciro kitatugoye. Blessing Hands iherereye mu mujyi wa Kigali hafi y'umurenge wa Nyarugenge. Nimuhatambuke rero mutarambagije intebe zo mu ruganiriro, izi wicara mu kavimvira byanarimba ugasinzira. Hanyure wigurire TV stands ziteye amabengeza, garderobe za gisirimu, intebe zo mu biro zirukana amavunane, izo kuri terrasse, intebe nziza zo mu busitani n'izo kuri comptoir, ndetse n'ameza atagira ukwasa yo kuri reception. Ntusubireyo kandi udatanye coffre fort, maze imitungo yawe iha umutekano. Ntusige n'imitako itagira uko isa, bityo ugenda urimbisha iwawe, abagusura bazagushimira ubwo busirimu. Abanyamahoteli namwe karibuni muri Blessing Hands, mwigurire za ntebe n'ameza bibafasha kwakirana yombi abashyitsi banyu. Murahakura kandi na za eviye nziza cyane, ndetse n'ameza byo mu bikoni hehe n'umugesa aho mukorera. Blessing Hands Limited ni mu mujyi wa Kigali hafi y'umurenge wa Nyarugenge. Telefone yo ni 0788741420 cyangwa 0788536407.
Bya bihe by'ibirori byahageze.
Salut les amis.
Mu Kuboza kuri Canal Plus buri munsi ni ibirori. Ni ukwezi buri muntu aba ashaka gutanga yambi n'akabizu. Sibyo mwese mukunda se? Imikino yinjiza abakunzi bayo muri Noheli na Bonane, seri nyarwanda nka Shwadiru, Kaliza wa Kalisa na telenovelas yitwa Sweet Diva mu Kinyarwanda kuri Zacu TV. Kuko kuri Canal Plus buri munsi ari ibirori, gura decoder ku 5,000 na installation ikorwe ku 5,000. Niba usanganywe decoder, gura abone musanganywe cyangwa yisumbuyeho, uhabwa inyongera y'ukwezi kose ureba amashani yose ya Canal Plus.
Ibyishimo ni byose natsinze. Boss yemeye akazi namukoreye, ni igihe cyo kwihemba. Ndanywa ikinkwiriye, umunyabigi nkwanje anywa Kevant. Barman wabyumvise, zana Kevant. Wazana nini cyangwa wazana into, ndanywa Kevant. Kevant irankorera ijoro. Kevant ihuza inshuti zigahana ijambo, zidategana, zikungurana ibitekerezo kandi bikaza ari ibya kigabo. Kevant wayikoresha muri cocktail. Kevant ni inzoga kandi wanywa yonyine. Kevant urayisanga muri supermarket, mu tubari, boutique ndetse n'ahandi hose wicira inyota. Ikitonderwa, inzoga siza bato, kirazira kunywa inzoga utwite, kirazira kandi gutwara ibinyabiziga onwe bisindisha. Kevant, tumwe mu rugero.
Ariko nkuguraje wa mugore, nkuguraje ko
oya rwose ngizisha ukomeza kurebera kandi ubuzima bwanjye mushyira mu kaga ndigendeye.
Umva rero umusobanurire, narabikubwiye n'ubu mbisubiremo. Iyi ni ingarigari ya data. Aha ni nk'umugisha wanjye uziritse, sinshobora kwasiga. Cyokora wenda ngiye gushaka imurumuru, nshaka imikwege n'ikintu zirika igisenge, reba ko ibiza bizanguka. Habaye iki? Kwa Muyinja inkangira abatwaye.
Njye nakubwiraga.
Yanzira bagwiriye bose barapfuye, nta n'umwe urokotse.
Zamana we, ubwo nitwe dukurikiyeho.
Oya, inzu yanjye iraziritse, inzu yanjye asa n'ikomeye. Irakomeye. Iki gisenge cyakagombye kuba kiziritse neza kugira ngo umuyaga utagitwara. Urumva ibibambasi bihomye neza kugira ngo amazi atinjira mu nzu. Reba iyi fondasiyo yakagombye kuba izengurutse inzu yose kugira ngo amazi atinjira mu nzu. None muvandi, reba ahantu tuye, urabona atari munsi y'umukingo kandi ahantu hanamye. Ako muvandi, mwaretse rwose tukareka gushyira imiryango yacu mu kaga, tukimuka tukava ahantu.
Mada uzinge n'ibindi twimuke.
Yego rwose twimuke.
Gutura heza ni ukwirinda ibiza ukabirinda n'abawe.
Ubu butumwa ni ubwa Minisiteri ishinzwe ibikorwa by'ubutabazi Minema. Ukeneye ibindi bisobanuro hamagara nimero 170.
Mwiriwe papa.
Mwiriwe.
Akira ababyeyi.
Nafashe ubwishingizi umurage, ubu Minerval irahari. Nubwo uhora uhangayitse ngo mfite akazi gashobora guhagarara cyangwa kunteza impanuka, tuza rwose. Iyo umubyeyi agize ubumuga cyangwa kwitaba Imana, Prime Life Insurance itanga indezo yishingiwe buri mwaka. Hanyuma umwana yatangira icyiciro cyishingiwe, hagatangwa Minerval kugeza umwana arangije. Utanga kandi umusanzu ushoboye igihe ushakiye bitewe na Minerval wifuza.
Papa nanjye ndashaka umurage.
Kanda akanyenyeri 177 urwego uhitamo 4 umurage uzigamira amashuri y'abana. Prime Life Insurance.
hiswe kurwanya ubwandu bwa virusi itera sida mu Rwanda, abaturage begerejwe serivisi z'ubujyanama, izo gupima n'iz'ubuvuzi. Izi serivisi zirimo kwipimisha, guhabwa udukingirizo, kwikebesha ku bagabo no gufata imiti igabanya ubukana bwa virusi itera sida. Ziratangwa mu bitaro no ku bigo nderabuzima byose mu Rwanda kandi ku buntu. Twese rero cyane cyane urubyiruko turashishikarizwa kwitabira izi serivisi kugira ngo dufatanye urugamba rwo kurwanya sida. Mugore utwite, nyamuneka ukimara kumenya ko wasamye, urakangurirwa kwihutira kwipimisha inda kwa muganga kugira ngo bagufashe hakiri kare kurinda umwana utwite. Erega kwirinda biruta kwivuza. Ubu butumwa ni ubwa Minisiteri y'Ubuzima ibinyujije mu kigo cy'igihugu gishinzwe ubuzima RBC, ishami rishinzwe kurwanya sida.
Ibiruhuko byahageze. Gana Star Times uryoherwe n'ibiganiro by'abana bitandukanye mu Cyongereza, Igifaransa n'Ikinyarwanda. Star Times iguha uburyo bwo kwidagadura mu ndimi zitandukanye hamwe na promotion idasanzwe. Gura Smart cyangwa Classic uhita uhabwa inyongera iguhereza amasheni y'abana 15.
Mama, ibiruhuko na Star Times ni mwana nziza ibaho.
Kubindi bisobanuro duhamagare kuri 0788 15 66 00.
Urugendo ruva ku isi rujya ku kwezi rungana gute?
Ibirometero 384 na metero 400.
Igikombe cy'isi mu 1954 cyabereye he? Cyatwawe n'iyi kipe?
Cyatwawe n'Ubudage. Cyabereye mu Busuwisi.
Shampiyona y'umupira w'amaguru mu Bwongereza yatangiye ryari, igizwe n'amakipe angahe?
Yatangiye 1992 igizwe n'amakipe 20.
Ngaho
uhagaze ute ku bijyanye n'ibipimo bya virusi itera sida?
Ibipimo urumva nzajya kwipimisha mu cyumweru gitaha. Nako ibisubizo ndabimenya mu minota itarenze 20.
Kwipimisha virusi itera sida n'ubuntu. Menya uko ubuzima bwawe buhagaze mbere y'uko umenya ibindi byose. Menya uko uhagaze. Ubu butumwa bubugejejwe na Minisiteri y'Ubuzima ibinyujije mu kigo cy'igihugu cy'ubuzima mu Rwanda RBC.
Ingaruka z'ibiza iyo zidakumiriwe zidutwara ubuzima, zikangiza n'ibikorwa byaduhenze. Hagamijwe rero gukumira no kugabanya izo ngaruka, abaturarwanda twese turasabwa kubahiriza ingamba zirimo kwimuka byihuse hagaragajwe ko hashyira ubuzima mu kaga, kugenzura no gusana inzu zishaje, kuzirika neza ibisenge by'inzu bitaziritse, gusibura inzira z'amazi no kwirinda kujugunya imyanda muri za ruhurura.
Tugomba kandi gukomeza ibikorwa byo kurwanya isuri, duca tukanasibura imirwanyasuri mu mirima. Gufata ubwishingizi bw'ibikorwa by'ubuhinzi n'ubworozi nabyo ni ubushishozi, kimwe no kubahiriza ingamba zo kwirinda gukubitwa n'inkuba, by'umwihariko igihe cy'imvura irimo inkuba. Ku bindi bisobanuro mwahamagara ku murongo utishyurwa 170. Ubu butumwa ni ubwa Minisiteri ishinzwe ibikorwa by'ubutabazi Minema ku bufatanye n'umuryango Care International Rwanda.
Yes, we are now back after a commercial break, and as I introduced before earlier, it is showed that today I will be hosting Mr. Moses. He's the communication manager of KCCA, which is here in Rwanda. I would like to welcome him to Isango Style Studio. Welcome.
Thank you very much for hosting me.
It's a pleasure to host you, particularly someone from KCCA, one of the footballing clubs around East Africa. You are here for youth football. We'd like to know the agenda of KCCA here in Rwanda.
Wow, our objective and one of the reasons why we are here is to participate in the ITN International Cup.
Yes.
And with us, we came with different categories and players or young players from the KCCFC Soccer Academy, under 7, under 12, under 15, and under 17.
Yes.
So they are participating in this tournament, which has ended today. Our main objective is basically to develop talent. Over the years, KCCFC in Uganda and all over Africa has always been known in developing youth talent, and this is one of the objectives and missions and visions of the football club. And it has saved the club a lot of money. because the money that we would have used to go to another club to buy, let me say, around 10 players every transfer season, we promote about 5 or 4 players from our youth systems.
Yes.
Back then, we've been focusing on the under-17 team only, but now we have spread our wings, and now we recruit from 3 years to 17 years, and this is the first official tournament for the KCCFC Soccer Academy, and it's very amazing that we had to come to Rwanda for our very first our tournament outside Uganda.
Muri rusange rero ikiganiro cyaza kuba mu ndimi zombi Ikinyarwanda n'Icyongereza. Ubwo rero twaganiraga namubazaga impamvu bari hano mu Rwanda, bakaba bari mu Rwanda kubera amarushanwa y'abana bakiri batoya. Yavuze ko KCCA ari ikipe imenyerewe ifite umuco wo kuzamura abakinnyi bakiri batoya, bakaba rero bari hano mu marushanwa y'abakiri batoya aho bahera ku myaka 7 uza kuri myaka 17. Aravuga ati bimaze kutugira akamaro cyane kuko twebwe ngo ntago tukijya gushaka abakinnyi hanze, ahubwo dushaka mubo dufite, ndetse bimaze no kugenda bidufasha mu rwego rwa mikoro. Muri urwo rwego bari hano rero mu kufatanya n'abandi experience yabo kugira ngo iyi tournament cyangwa se irushanwa ribagira akamaro muri rusange. As I introduced the show, I said that we'll be discussing about youth development in East Africa, the case study of Uganda. Yeah. Uganda is actually developing at a high pace. We'd like to know what are the strategies that have been using, which Rwanda and any other country in East Africa can learn from.
The strategies are not quite many, but in general, what I can say in general, what the club has, what the country or the federation back then at home, FOFA, is focusing on is to there's a campaign called Football for All, football for every for every household. That means that every household should have a ball of football, because there should be a boy or a girl able to play football.
That's amazing.
Yes, and then the other is to develop the different infrastructure that is across the different regions. As I speak now, Uganda is among the countries that is going to host CHAN and AFCON. So the main emphasis and focus has been on making sure we develop the infrastructure to enable a lot of talent, because if there's no infrastructure, where are the footballers going to play from? And then also to develop the capacity building for the coaches to make sure they go back and study. Not that because you played football you can definitely coach. No, if you played football you're exempted from doing CAF D, so you do CAF C. From CAF C you do CAF B and then CAF A. And then there is another program for the players that started even last before the season started. KCCA, all players had to undertake CAF D course when they're still active. That means that even when they finish their career, they will just take on maybe the CAF C or even a CAF B course. So we're not waiting for them to first finish playing football. But the idea is you can be a player as maybe you're coaching a certain academy somewhere, and it helps you to even understand the game better. That's why they were all subjected to doing a CAF D course, which they all completed. The goal is from them now from CAF D to even do a CAF C. By the time that they retire, they can immediately get into coaching at either CAF B or CAF A level.
Yes, muri rusange ahangaha icyo avuze mugenzi wacu baravuga ko muri Uganda icyo bakoze hari politike yaho bavuga ati buri rugo rugomba kuba ufite umupira, kuko buri rugo ufite umwana swatu n'umuhungu cyangwa se umukobwa agomba kuba afite umupira. Icyo bakora rero kugira ngo bashishikarize ababyeyi n'abana gukina umupira, ikindi kandi kwibanda no kubyecyanye n'ibikorwa remezo, kuko hatari ibikorwa remezo hatari ibibuga ntago umupira wakinwa. Anavuga kandi ko by'umwihariko muri KCCA icyo bakora nuko bashishikariza n'abakinnyi babo kwiga coaching. Muri Uganda ikintu bakora nuko baravuga ati umukinnyi ushobora kuba arakinnye umupira ukaba udafite ubushobozi bwo kuba waba umutoza mwiza. Icyo bakora rero ni uguhugura abatoza, urangije kubona lisansi ya C ujya muri B ndetse na kugira ngo umutoza yagutoza abafite ubumenyi. Muri rusange nibyo ngibyo muri Uganda niko babikora. It's quite challenging though, because first of all, for the parents to understand the policy, what does it take for FUFA to to sensitize and mobilize the parents to understand that a kid can play football at the same time go to school and excel?
I will not say it's been a very easy one, but I can speak what the federation has been able to do. One, as it has introduced different tournaments.
Yes.
in school tournaments. There's what now we call a FUFA TV Cup in Uganda. FUFA TV Cup is a tournament that was started up to also help and benefit these other schools that probably may not get the chance to participate in the national secondary schools, associations tournaments. Maybe they are limited at the first round. So the first beneficiaries were the traditional schools that sometimes do not get a chance to have their players in these national secondary schools association tournaments because maybe some of these schools were somehow not able to maybe give out a bursary to a footballer, so somehow they miss out on the talent because they have not been able to do that. So now it's about 2 editions for that FUFA TV Cup, and it's been a success. And the FUFA TV Cup enables students to stay in school but also play football at the same time. It's not very easy. It also, especially for the parents that want their kids to only focus on studies, but it's also very important through the different associations that are in the country. There is a Uganda Secondary Schools Associations or association that enables that makes sure they are both are balanced. That is football and sport and education. So and different sensitizing, and also parents have seen the success stories of some of the footballers.
Yes.
As I speak now, Uganda is hosting the Sekafa Under-17 AFCON qualifiers, where the best 2 teams will make it to the AFCON Under-17.
Yes.
And actually the entire team, the Uganda Under-17 team, they're students because they're below 17 years. And I'm thinking that should be the same for all the countries that are participating in. So parents have seen that there are success stories. There are players that are playing with the national team at the Under-17 level, Under-15, and at the same time they are doing actually amazing. And they've also introduced, actually it's been around for a while, there's some points that you get if you're a sportsman, especially when you're trying to get into the university.
Yes.
That if you're a sportsman during the secondary school, you might have maybe an extra point or 2 that should be able to help you get the course that you want at the university.
At the university. That's amazing. Muri rusange namubazaga ni se ababyeyi kumva iyo politike y'uko umwana agomba gukina akaniga kandi akaba yakwitwara neza mu ishuri, avuga ko muri rusange icyo bakoze bashyizeho amarushanwa menshi. Urugero yatanze ni FUFA TV tournament, aho abatarabonye amahirwe yo kujya mu mashuri yandi nka segonderi bari mu yandi mashuri y'imyuga n'ibindi nabo bagira iryo rushanwa ku buryo ababyeyi bamaze kubona akamaro kabyo. Impamvu nuko hari ababona umupira wagiriye akamaro, ibyo ubwabyo bigatuma nabo bashobora kurekurira abana bakabaha uburenganzira bwo kuba bakina. Atanga urugero rwo kuba ubu ngubu muri Uganda hari Sekafa U17 abaza byitwara neza agomba kujya muri mikino ya kafa. Ibyo byose rero ni ingero zitandukanye z'uburyo bategura amarushanwa yabo. In terms of the sponsorship, what does it take to mobilize the sponsorship, to sensitize different companies to come in to sponsor these tournaments?
One, you've got to have what you're selling. For example, as football, we sell an experience. What the companies out there, before they give you the money, they're going to tell you, or they're going to want to know what is in it for us. It's not just about we want to dump our money there. So you're selling an experience, one. Then you've got to have a well-built brand. And football as a sport in Uganda is huge. It's a very huge. Even when you look at the money, the budget for football or for football in Uganda every year, the money that is coming in for football, it's not anywhere compared to any other sports. This is because of the success the football brings in the country. It's the biggest sport that accommodates the majority of individuals in the country. So and also different brands have seen what it means to associate yourselves with football and also different clubs. As on a personal level, as a club, over the years we've been able to attract different sponsors. One, because we've got the numbers as a football club. One, and that second thing is because of the brand we've built over the years. And also, like I said, the sponsor would want to know that if I am going to invest my money in Club X or in the Federation or in the Uganda Cranes, what do I get in return? But with football, you can't even be asking some of these questions because we all see the success of the national team sometimes, and then we have seen the numbers that are coming in with the stadiums, the revenues that coming in from either merchandise sales or gate collections and all these kind of things. So as a country, I would say for football, it's because of the success of the game, the way it's well organized compared to maybe other sports in the country.
Yes.
And the other thing is the brand, the big brand that is football in Uganda, and the fact that we're also able to attract some of these tournaments, like for example the CHAN and the AFCON that will be coming. So most of these companies want to associate with football, that is FUFA or the different clubs that are in the country.
Yes, muri rusange nawazaga byerekeranye n'abaterankunga ese kugira ngo abaterankunga baze muri football mu marushanwa yabo bisaba kiravuga ati ubusanzwe iyo bagiye kuza aravuga ati ese jewe ndakoramo iki muri rushanwa niki nkuramo kareba experience irimo inararibonye ndetse bakareba ubwitabire mu mastade ukuntu stade ziba zuzuye yewe ndetse nicyo bagenda bakuramo muri rusange bigwaye bakabona ko biba byoroshye kuba wafata cyangwa kwegera umuterankunga kuko akurikije uburyo abakinnyi batandukanye bagenda babona amakipe uburyo abantu bitabira muri rusange mu mastade ibyo bikoroha kuba wareshya abaterankunga kuza muri stade. A few years back, that was back in 2003 when Rwanda actually beat Uganda in Nambore 1-0 by Jimmy Gatete. Uganda by then had a lot of talents, but they were not really good at nurturing them. How did they actually sit and go back to the drawing board to realize all this success? That we are now praising Uganda. You have the under-17 will be participating in AFCON Youth 17. Yes. You have U23, I think. Yeah. I stand to be corrected. They will be participating in CAF Champions League. How has it been consistent to this level?
Yes, you've talked about 2003 Uganda going to, Rwanda going to Uganda and beating. But there's so much that's happened. This is over 20. Close to about 21 years ago, because if it was 2024, 2003. But so much has been done. I'll start with one, introducing a youth league.
Yes.
There is a youth league, so it's a mandatory thing for every club in the country. For example, in the main league, that is the Uganda Premier League, should have a club. Should have a junior team. Yes. So KCCA and all these other clubs have got a club or have got a team. And that is participating in the juniors league. That means there is a conveyor belt. You will always have players coming in from the youth systems to the senior team. And these same players are also it's where the national teams, the under 15, the under 17, the under 23, that's where they are picking their players. And then if these players, we say under 15, under 17, that means they have got to be in schools. So the football is being developed from grassroots level. The academies are being supported. There's also a new sports law that protects most of the things, especially academies and also how can one maybe start up a football club. So not everyone from nowhere can just come and either buy or own a football club. So there's that new sports law that has just been put in place and signed by the president. So I've talked about introducing the youth league, which is the FUFA Juniors League, which is a conveyor belt that it keeps giving, especially to the different clubs in the country, and also the national teams under 15, under 17. Then capacity building, not only for the coaches, but even administrators. There's a course called FAMACO, which is actually a mandatory thing to have for anyone that wants to be a CEO for a football club. So if you've not done the FAMACO, it's a course, it's at a diploma level. But if you've not done it, then you may not qualify to be a CEO. And very soon they will spread it, maybe being a manager, manager, maybe administration, a PRO for a football club. Why? Because they want to make sure you're empowered to serve in that different position so that we can grow the game together. And that is basically the objective for FUFA. So it's not only about the youth football, but also capacity development has been done. Coaches have been taught. Yes. Different coaches have taken on courses. Currently, there's a CAF A course happening in the country, and it's in the final stages. So a different group of coaches will be, passed out as CAF A licensed coaches. Then there's been obviously massive, sensitization about the game, and that's the reason as why you can attract sponsors. So when you attract sponsors, the more money comes in, so you can do different things, either buy attractive players that will build the brand of the league, sell more merchandise because everyone wants to associate with a football club that has player X, and then you'll be able to build stadiums, just like we're also trying to develop the structure that we have at the KCCFC stadium. So a lot of things have really happened since 2003 and until now, and it's been a little bit more intentional by obviously the federation and all these other stakeholders.
Aha namubazaga muri rusange uburyo Uganda kugeza ubu ngubu ubona bahozaho mu marushanwa atandukanye, uburyo umupira wabo ugenda utera imbere. Kuva 2003 Rwanda rutsinda Uganda nambori igitego cya Jimmy Gatete, taramugati hari byinshi byakozwe. Icyambere byabaye itegeko ko hagomba kubaho ibishanwa ry'ama junior, aho buri kipe ari itegeko gomba kugira ikipe ya junior. Icyo si cyo gusa, ndetse no kubaka ubushobozi bw'abatoza kugira ngo abatoza baza gutoza abakinnyi bakiri bato baba bafite ubumenyi. Ibyo byose nabyo bikagenda bituma n'abaterankunga binjira muri uyu mupira. Muri rusange bashize imbaraga umupira ukiri batoya mu mashuri kugeza ubu ngo akaryo bituma bagenda batera imbere. I will now focus on KCCA. Recently, KCCA is one of the clubs that have been actually providing a lot of players. Recently, we had the likes of Travis Mchaba, we had Chiza, Mustafa Chiza. These have been very successful players. How do you make it a success in KCCA to see that even other clubs in Africa, particularly, can be attracted by the KCC policy of football development, youth development, to go try their football around the continent?
I'll start with the young ones, especially what has been the junior team before we got into what we call an academy. For us, it's a policy at the football club. Everyone in the junior team has to be in school. If you're not in school, then you cannot be in a junior team, however talented you are.
So hold on that. If you cannot
be in our junior team if you're not in school, because the junior team is under 17.
Akomubanze mukumve muri KCCA niba utari mu ishuri ntushobora kujya muri junior round. That's very important. I wanted to explain that to those who are listening to us.
Why we had to do that is because we found out that in the previous most footballers did not want to go to school. They thought it's just about talent. But the football, the time you have for football is about 15 years. If you start playing at say real football about 18, 19, 20, you're retiring by 35. So that's about 15, 16 years. That's if you've been able to, keep yourself at the top. So what happens after 15? At 35, many people who did not play football, their life is just starting. Then those are the people.
That's very important. Muri Uganda, mumve uburyo bano bagabo batera imbere cyangwa se igihugu gitera imbere. Baravuze bati twebwe ntushobora kujya mu kipe yacu utarize, utari mu ishuri. Kwa watu umukinyi ashobora gukina imyaka 10-15 bakibaza batese nyuma y'imyaka 15 ubuzima bwe bumeze gute. Aho rero no bashaka ko umunyeshuri umukinyi agomba kuba afite n'ubumenyi yarize ku buryo nyuma yaho umupira urangiriye ashobora gukomeza n'ubundi zuma. Yes, you can continue.
So I was saying at 35, that is when, for example, a person who went to school, their life is just starting. Either they did a degree up to, let me say, 25, worked for a year or two, went and pursued a master's up to about, let me say, 29. And they've been, around working and what. By 35, life is just starting for most of them. So for you as a footballer, you're done. So at 35, who's going to want to associate themselves with you? You've not gone to school, you're done with your career. And everyone is saying, thank you very much, you played football, but the focus is now on the current players. So now that is why we are saying we push for all our players, especially those that are still in the secondary level. Because most of the players in the junior team are in secondary, to be in school. So we have signed, as a club, we signed partnerships. Now we have 4 schools where we send out our players. We're not saying that all our junior team players should be in those schools, but those 4 schools give out bursaries to our players.
Bafitanye amasezerano n'amashuri ane aho abakinyi babo bakina muri junior bahabwa bourse bakajya kwiga muri ayo mashuri. Murumva ko bucyo bashyizemo imbaraga no kumunyeshuri umukinyi ukina umupira agomba kuba ari umuntu ufite ubwenge kugira ngo narangiza karere umupira azakomeze kubaho mu buzima.
Yes, so now those 4 schools, we have got Chadondo SS, we have got Masaka SS, we have got Chibuli SS, and Old Kampala SS. So when we get a player, and let me say they're in senior 2 and saying, oh my goodness, I dropped out, I'm not able to continue, we say no. You've spent how many years without playing? Let me say 2. We will push them to one of our schools of excellence so that they are nurtured from the class where they stopped until they finish at least senior 6.
Yes.
We believe at least if they've got the senior 6 certificate, they can go to a tertiary school, or they can be able to go to either a university if they've done well, or they can do maybe a diploma or a degree, or a certificate in something. But that is the main focus. Because we want to develop the game, we say first at least be in school. That is the reason as to why you see all these players we've talked about, Chiza Mustafa, players like Sadata Naku that have actually played professional football. Some have returned, yes, but some are still out there. And a good number of others, the Alan Okelos that is now maybe in a different, but they have, all been in most of our schools of excellence. And as I speak right now, half the senior team of KCCFC are products of the junior team, half that team. So if we have 30 licensed players, 15 or 16 of those players are products they were once in the junior team of the club. Yes. Why we are doing that is, what is the reason for us to say we have a junior team, yet we have 30 players that are licensed, and only maybe 1 or 2 are formally played for the juniors team. That means we're not making any progress as a junior team. So we make sure that at least every season 1 or 2 players leaves the junior team, makes it to the senior team. And it's just not about saying, let's go and pick. No, they've got to earn it. Yeah. So we are very particular on education, because we believe if the player is not educated, those are the players that will disturb the nation later on. They will say, football has not helped us, but they had a chance to, at least do school and football. We want at 35 when you retire, we are lucky the Kampala Capital City Authority has got, it's down that runs the city. You could be slotted in the authority as maybe under the urban planning, whatever you studied if it's something to do with real estate, you're slotted somewhere. If it's finance, because we'll be someone who was loyal to the football club. He played for maybe 5-7 years. Yes. He's now done with the football. But now you're done with football and you stopped in senior 1. That means who's going to take you on? They say they want at least a degree or a diploma. You don't even have senior 6. That's the reason why we always push them to be in school, and not only just be in school, but be in school, do balance both school and football, because they are equally important.
Muri rusange impamvu baba banashaka ko abakinnyi bajya mu ishuri bakaniga ni ukugira ngo na nyuma y'ubuzima bw'umupira w'amaguru bazabone icyo bakora. Yatanze urugero ko niba umuntu afite degree, afite lisansi mu bintu bitandukanye, ashobora kuba yanabona akazi. Bati dufite amahirwe ko Kampala City Council ari inayobora ikipe yabo, bashobora kuba bagushyira mu kazi gatandukanye bitewe n'ubushobozi ufite n'ibyo wize, atari kutarize biragoye. Now there's something that is actually interesting. There are some street boys who might be talented, and you say that the condition to join KCCA Football Academy, you must be in school. How do you do to mobilize these kids to go back to school so that they can play football at the same time?
We integrate them back into the community. You might be a street kid, you probably dropped out, different reasons. Get to, are the causes or the reasons as to why some of these kids are on the street. So we will integrate them back in the community. KCC has got different correctional services. Yes. And there's a campaign of making sure they get all the kids, KCC, that is the authority, the owners of the football club, to get all the kids off the street. So they don't just get them and dump them somewhere. There are different centers where these kids are taken, and they integrate them back in the community, either as students or different orphanages could actually come, and take on different kids to make sure, they're integrated back into school. And some of them have actually left the streets, gone on and got back to school and become different people. Some have not done football, but have become either different, they've taken on different professions. So we're not saying that we are leaving out the others. Ours is, if we excuse 1 or 2, then that means you have opened it up, that another person will say, why, how comes you did it for so and so? That is why it's a policy at the club. And even if you're coming from wherever, I'm coming from this, and if you're 17 years, it is just automatic that you should be in school. Yes. And the academy starts from 3 to 17, so why aren't you in school?
So Yours in KCA, you start with 3 years old kids.
3, yeah, to 17. But then the team that participates in the juniors league is about 15 to 17.
Yes.
But then we are also now, like the ones that came here, they have never participated in. This is their first tournament.
Yeah.
Because the academy was started about 6 months ago. The one that takes on from 3. Normally we've been focusing to 15, 16, 17, and then churn them to the senior team. But then we were saying, the ones we are getting at 15, where are they coming from? Why don't we get them when they are 3?
Yes.
So that by the time they are 15 and they're playing for the juniors league, we have groomed them into how we want to play out, because we have a special way we play football. We play the tic-tac. We call it
it's a tradition. Yeah. It's a tradition since long ago.
So if we want you to play like that, you should have done it from about 3, 5, 6, 7 years when you got you. By the time you're 15, you're used to this. You're used to the pressures. We are bringing them to these tournaments, not just because we want them to win, for them to play under different conditions, under different environments, under different funds, and for them to to understand that football is just not about winning, losing, and drawing, but the friendships you make. That's why even today when they were playing the games, we always emphasized, go and shake your friend's hand after the game.
Yeah.
Go and there were different teams from there. There were teams from Rwanda, teams from Uganda. Fair play. We're always emphasizing fair play.
Yes.
It's just not about I've lost, I've won, I've drawn. No, fair play. The friendships, the interpersonal relations. Yes.
Aha rero yavugaga ko muri rusange banamubazaga ntese ko muvuga ko mwebwe mwita ku bana bajya mu ishuri, abatari mu ishuri kandi bashobora kuba bafite impano, abana bo ku muhanda bigenda bite. Icyo bakora rero, umujyi wa Kampala bagerageza guhuza aba bana, bakaba harimo ushobora kuba yaravuye mu ishuri kubera impamvu zitandukanye, ariko bakaba bashobora kuba basubira mu ishuri bakiga ndetse bakina n'umupira. Hari benshi bagiye bagaruka mu ishuri bakiga ndetse umupira ukabagira akamaro, hari abandi batabishoboye ariko bagakomeza mu bindi. Murumva ko umujyi wa Kampala ubagira akamaro, b'abana b'amayibo bashobora kuba bafite impano ariko bakareba uburyo bazihuriza hamwe. We'll be coming to a close. We'll be winding up the show in the next 5 minutes. I now want to focus on football administration, KCCA. How is it administered, just from the grassroots to the senior tier management? So that there's some people there are some clubs, authorities that maybe are watching here from Rwanda. There are a lot of clubs here which would like to learn something from KCCA.
Oh, okay. The system at KCCFC is quite unique. We have got a board that is appointed by the Lord Mayor. The Lord Mayor is the patron of the club. So he appoints a board together with the executive director of KCCA. So that board appoints the management of the club. So from the CEO to the manager and administration and operations to the head of communications to different other people, finance manager and all those things. Now the CEO, once the CEO is hired, they have got to make sure they hire the right people for these jobs. Not to just bring in anybody, but somebody that's going to add value to the football club. This club is 62 years old, started in 1963, actually 61. Next year it will be making 62, April 1963. So the legacy and the longevity it has been around for. That legacy has got to be kept. So there is no way they're going to take on any excuses for mediocrity. That is why they will hire the right people and make sure they are qualified to be in these jobs. 1, 2, they've got to make sure the club maintains its status as the best club in the country, the most successful football club, when you add all the titles, not only the league titles, and also to keep its objectives and to make sure every season we are winning. If we do not win, then heads have got to roll. Why isn't the club winning? Why isn't the club promoting more players? Why isn't the club, selling? Because selling is also a revenue source for the football club. We have been able to sell players to different clubs out there, and the club has got some good money which has invested in other. Why isn't the club earning from the academy? Because those players, the academy's players are not coming in for free. They pay some money. So hiring the right people to make sure the club maintains its status, and all that comes from the guidance from the board, which appoints a CEO, who then has these other staff under her that are going to make sure they run the club successfully every day.
Yes, magambo make tugana ku musozo namubazaga uburyo amaklebe yabo hari mu gihugu cya Uganda cyane cyane KCCA uburyo bayobora ikipe yabo kuko hashobora kuba hari abayobozi b'amakipe hano mu Rwanda bakwifuza kugira icyo biga kuri icyo bavuga ko ubusanzwe ubuyobozi bwabo bushyirwaho na meya nakabashira akajyaho board nayo akaba ariyo ishyiraho abayobozi ba ekipe ndetse na management abatoza n'iki byose. Iyo rero bitagenze neza saison ikarangira bitagenze neza bari cyakavuga ati ese kubera iki muri academy tutakizamura abakinyi, kubera iki iyi saison nta bakinyi twagurishije, bikaba ngombwa yuko iyo bibaye ngombwa ko bashobora kuba bahindura kugira ngo ikipe imaze imyaka 62 yose umuco wayo tradition yayo ikomeze ibe imwe, ikomeze kuba ari ikipe y'ikitegerezo mu gihugu cya Uganda. Yavuze ko ari ikipe ifite ibikombe byinshi, ifite ibigwi, nicyo rero babifuza ko ibyo bigwi byabo bikomeza kugaragara, bakomeza kubisigasira. Iyo bitagenze neza abagomba kubaho impinduka. I would like to thank you very much. I can be grateful now for you to have accepted the invitation to join us in the studio today for this show. Hopefully the next time we invite you, you will surely come.
Surely. I've enjoyed my time here. Thank you very much to Isango Sports, and we have also enjoyed our time in Kigali, Rwanda.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll come back either to play another academy tournament or maybe to play friendly or a CAF game with APR, Ryan Sports.
Yes.
AS Kigali, I don't know.
Have you actually enjoyed the city?
Yeah, not so because we've been having games almost every day, but at least for the few times that we've had to move around, I've also liked the fact that the city is clean and tarmacked all through. So I was saying I will take this. I hope we can pick a leaf back then in our country. It is,
yes, mubyo ashima nuko ati nubwo tutabonye umwanya wo gutembera cyane ariko ndashima uburyo nasanze Kigali ari umujyi w'isuku, atanu hose hari kaburimbo, ati biraryoshye cyane. Thank you very much for all the viewers for watching this show. Hopefully the next time he comes we'll be talking about a different topic. Thank you very much. I would like to take the opportunity to give credit to Mr. Bonnell, the camera operator, and Mr. Emmanuel, who has been channeling all this, and he's actually been the producer of the show. My name is Gakuba Ramadu Abdul-Jabbar. I'd like to thank Mr. Moses for turning up for the show. Thank you, and stay tuned to Isango Style TV.